Today's episode, we're going to talk about how to use video in your business.
Your someday starts today. It's time to explore and test the newest science, methods, and trends for creating a life you love with your host, Tanyamfk. Welcome to My Designed Life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to My Design Life, where we learn and test the latest science, tips, tools, and strategies for you to create your best life every day. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at My Design Life Show and at Tanyamfk. And if watching videos isn't your thing, head over to My Design Life Show podcast to catch the audio. I'm Tanyamfk, and I am so glad that you are here. Now, today's guest is someone that is dedicated to showcasing your awesomeness to build your business. In a world where success can be had by showing up everywhere and a YouTuber is a coveted profession, there's no doubt that video and the human connection that comes along with it is a powerful tool in business. Now, a world traveler by birth, an American growing up in Germany, she came to the US, calling New York her home for 15 years. Graduating with an MA from Columbia University, she thrived in the Big Apple, working both in front and behind the camera in filmmaking, theater, and in TV, giving her unique insight to not only video production, but the art of storytelling. No longer content with the 9-to-5 grind of the city, she decided to take respite, moving to Italy, combining her passion for stories and film to support entrepreneurs to grow their business and connect with their audience through video. Here today to help us grow through connection, please welcome founder of 530 Soul Studios, Stephanie Rubinato. Welcome, Stephanie.
Welcome to My Designed Life.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much, Tanya, for having me on My Design Life. I'm so happy to be here. It's great to get in interactive with folks and, not hibernate and,
Yes, you are in Italy now. You are definitely quarantined. So thank you so much for connecting in the midst of all of this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Quarantine, pandemic. It's
a new time.
This is the new normal. Quarantine living is the new normal for, we don't know how long, but it's, it's part of everyone's lives now. So we gotta muster up what we can and take it day by day.
Yeah. Well, and not to make it any less serious, but I mean, what a time for video, really.
Yes.
I mean, this is a beautiful time for us to really grasp this thing that you've been talking about for a long time, that is so beneficial and helpful for human connection. When we don't have a pandemic, but we just simply have distance, or we're not in front of our audience. I mean, video is so powerful. And I think we're all starting to see that right now, right?
Absolutely. It's such an immediate connection for folks, and it brings about so many emotions and so much. You can share so much in 2 to 3 minutes of video that might take a little bit longer to connect with an audience member in, a novel or an article. And it just immediately finds an audience for your content. So, there is someone out there who will really, find value in what you want to share with the world. And even your story, everyone has a story, and everyone has it should have the ability to be able to share their story, what they want to say, what is personable and meaningful for them.
Yeah, I think it's like the difference between a phone call and text. There's so much that can get lost or misconstrued in text. But when you make that phone call, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I understand now. And I think that's what video gives us in front of our audience. So, I feel like while most entrepreneurs know that it's helpful, there are also so many places to get stuck. I think a lot of them worry first about themselves, feeling awkward in front of the camera. And then if they get past that, then it's, what do I actually say? Does anyone even want to hear me? That kind of doubt. And then if we get over that, then there's technology that can feel overwhelming. Even the simple stuff like the apps or using your phone and uploading or keywords. And God forbid we actually do research and then get overwhelmed by the equipment or the microphones or lighting or comparing ourselves to others. So as amazing as it is, there's so many places that we can get tripped up. So where do we start? Take it away right? Just tell us, what do we do? We believe you, but what do we do?
Right. Well, I mean, it also, if you're in your own business, right, and you're a product-based business or a service-based business, there's caveats on how you want to focus your content there. I'm sure with, product-based businesses, you want to feature your product and what it does, how it helps people, what it does for people. For your service-based business, you're sharing what type of things you help people do, and what they will get out of, what's that end result for them after, for the services you offer, right? So, and then I think the first thing is, where is the platform that you also live on as well?
Right.
So
Before we even get there, we have to know, where are we showing up?
right, exactly. What's your platform? Where does your audience live? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? Is it YouTube? Is it Facebook?
Mhm.
All of them have video in their platform, and content is being produced daily,
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of hours of content,
Yes, they even
you
have
know?
lives. I think like Instagram has live, Facebook has
Yep,
live, YouTube has live, and
yep,
LinkedIn is slowly rolling in lives as well. So like
exactly,
so many
exactly.
options.
So many options, right? So that's where you want to start, right? And if you're that's where your platform is on Instagram, okay, great. So Instagram, now that they have IGTV, Instagram television, right, you can
Yeah.
create your own series, your own episodes, and have a longer term relationship that you'll build with your audience. But Instagram also has the shorter version of video, right? So
Right.
they use 1 minute clips for your posts, and then
Mhm.
for your feed it's 15 seconds. So
Right.
then you're putting your story, you have to think about, okay, what is the content that I'm putting out in 15-second intervals for
Yeah.
your stories, and then 1 minute for your post, and then for IG, okay, that's a longer
Yeah, I think it's
longer
10 minutes, and then after 10,000 people, you can go up to, I think, 2 hours, something
exactly.
wild like that. Yeah.
Right,
But
right.
15 seconds seems like, I think for some people it might feel over, like, oh my gosh, what do I do in 15 seconds? But it's also like a relief, I think. Like, okay, I just have to show up for
Exactly.
15 seconds. I can do that.
Exactly. And literally it could be a short intro about yourself, about who
Yeah.
you are, about your brand, what your brand, where your brand is, and you can do that in the space of 4 stories, like, hi,
Right.
here we are, this is what we do, and we'd love to have you try this, or we want to hear what you guys, think about what we're doing with this product or what this service.
Right.
So that kind of lets you release a little bit of having to script out content. Instagram is a platform that you don't have to worry so much about having to script out what you want to say.
Right.
You have the release to kind of do a free form conversation if
Yeah,
you
and
want.
stories are
And
there for 24 hours, so
exactly.
if you're really unsure, like, it's gonna be gone, and if you're
Yeah,
really, really worried, I mean, you can take it off, but like, come
exactly.
on,
You can
24
delete it.
hours, test it out, no one will ever, see it again.
Exactly, exactly. And they might forget about it, but then
Yeah,
there might be someone who's like, wow, that was really cool. I really like it. Maybe you
right.
could send us show more of what that is.
Yeah,
And then I think with YouTube is a platform where if you have a lot of great valuable insight and information and you want to share, that is the platform where you can create longer form content and
yeah,
build out a longer form relationship with your audience and a mass audience from around the world,
mhm,
and through organic searching. And that in YouTube, it's you're going with the algorithm, so you have to figure out the algorithm and how that plays into the content that you want to post. So that's YouTube, right? And
yeah.
YouTube, you can monetize your channel
Yeah,
at,
there's a
at some
lot of
point.
options in YouTube, but you're really there like to solve a problem. I think that's what we see, is that we're solving a problem on YouTube. because people are searching usually for some sort of solution. How do I XYZ? How do I do this? So when you can show up, and if you're worried, like, well, what do I do? What do I say? And I think you'll get a lot of like different advice, people like, you could just do a dance. You could do something to go viral. I would say for most businesses, our goal is to solve a problem when we show up on
Exactly.
YouTube. So
Yes.
unless you're an influencer and that's your life, you may have other options. But really, for I think the majority of us, product or service based, we're showing up to talk about some problem that we can solve, and then teaching about that. So I know if I go to YouTube, it can be anywhere to like how to make brownies, or how to do this painting. Like, I'm usually looking for a video version of solving some sort of problem,
Exactly.
I'll Google like
yes.
how to do something on Google Sheets, literally. I'll or not Google, but search on YouTube, be like, oh, that's where the button is. So I think that's like, if you're unsure, I think that's a good place to start, is what have people asked you enough that you could show up and chat a little longer about.
Exactly. Correct. And also, where your customers have frequently asked questions on your website, on Facebook, if these are questions that they have asked, over and over again, that's a great place to start with producing content. Answer those questions, that a list right there. And
even how does it work? Like, how does your service work? Like, that could even be the video. I've seen that. like there's a thing called YouTube Buddy, and I was like, I don't know, how does it work? And they had a video, which was smarter than, because they're YouTube based. I was like, how does it work? So they had a video like, this is how it works. I was like, oh,
yes. Yeah. Tube. Yeah, it's called Tube Buddy.
Yeah, real basic though. Like, I just literally, as a potential customer, wanted to even understand how it worked, or if anyone else said anything about it. And there were tons of videos that really helped solidify whether or not I wanted to use it. So that could even be a way to show up, of just like, this is how it works if you want to work with us.
Exactly.
And you're an expert on that. It's your business. If anything, is how this is how you pay for my service. You can make that video.
Right. Yes. I mean, I use YouTube all the time for learning different things. It's such a great place to learn material, like there are the paid subscription sites like, Skillshare and Udemy, and even LinkedIn has their own learning based tutorial service where you can pay to learn, different things. But YouTube has you're finding content to learn from also your peers, and learning how to increase your skill level, which for me,
sometimes it's the gist of something, or it can be in depth, right?
Yes.
As opposed to like Skillshare, where you're taking like a long course, and it's amazing because you can learn a lot of stuff, but maybe you're like, I just need to know the 5-minute gist of this.
That's right. Exactly. So,
Awesome.
that's, where you want to figure out your platform. Where's the platform that you want to take your content? Then you think about, okay, what are the problems that you want to solve for your audience? Look at your frequently asked questions, the things that people often ask you, and that is a great place to start to build your video content. And then you got to shoot it, right? So you got to figure out what is the medium that you'll be using. Now, of course, there is the full production cameras, DSLRs, Red cameras, GoPros,
full studio,
point and shoot, camcorders. They're all viable options. It also you want to think about, okay, what is your production value too? So of course you don't want to shoot something that's really grainy and you can't really see you very well, and you can't hear you very well. But you don't also have to spend a fortune, right? You don't have to spend $2,000 on a camera kit with a lens and you get a boom mic and all of that.
Because if you Google it, that's what you're going to see. They're like, well, I recommend this. And you're like, well, of course, it's amazing. And then you start to go like, what was I thinking? Like, I can't do this, but.
Yeah, exactly. So first take a look at, what do you have in your own house? What do you have in your apartment? What are the things that you can use? You can use your cell phone, actually, which if you have a smartphone, probably in 2015 and up, the camera on that phone is going to be a decent option
pretty
for you to
quality,
shoot.
Right.
Yes. I mean, and Androids, iPhones, I used to have an Android, but I'm now an iPhone person.
That's
So I
amazing.
know
I
a
went
little
the
bit.
other way. I was an iPhone and I left and I went to Android. So, but they both work.
But they both work,
Yeah.
and they both have very great cameras that have
Mhm.
come out in the last several years for shooting.
Mhm.
So you can just take a look at the specs and just play around with your camera on your phone. Ideally, you want to use the back facing camera instead of the front one, because the front one has a little less resolution than your back
Yeah.
facing camera.
I noticed
And
that.
yes,
Like, so
yes.
when I do kind of like when I'm holding it, just talking to myself versus when I
Mm-hmm.
have it flipped up, which it's hard because you can't see yourself. And I guess maybe that
Right.
helps us sometimes when we have it, but it always looks nicer when I do it from the other way.
Yeah,
So,
it
yeah.
does. It does.
Okay.
So that is what is the stronger lens on the back of the camera.
Okay.
So you take a look at your camera on your phone, and then what you need to do is just start shooting things around your house, shooting things outside. Just get comfortable with using the video part, recording.
Mm-hmm.
You shot, probably things on family vacations, or when you're at a concert, or you're seeing an event and you're using your phone for shooting. That's already part of you getting comfortable with using it, right?
Yeah.
So you play around with your camera. Now, audio, that's another thing. If you don't have a mic, you can invest in some of the lower end models, but for the average person who maybe doesn't want to spend money, especially right now, if you have a headset with a mic,
Yeah.
this doesn't do a terrible job, right? It's
Yeah.
closed.
We hear you
It's
nice and
near.
clear.
You're
Yeah.
near. Yes, exactly. It's near to your body, which will then capture the sound a lot better than if you take out the headset and you're using the mic from the cell phone.
Yes. I will tell
Because
you guys from experience on just doing this show, we have, even though it might look cool because you don't have earbuds, I actually have one on, you don't even see it, it's here in my ear. We require people to either have a high quality mic or to have earbuds, because I don't care how high quality their computer is, the echo that comes out from it, the outside noise from it is not worth how cool you might look without having your earbuds in. If that's the issue, I don't know why people are against it, but it's so nice. Like you said, it's closed, and it's very important actually, because that outside
exactly.
noise and that quality of sound, I never really gave it too much thought. My husband was kind of obsessed with it. I was like, who cares? And now we'll hear some of my old videos and look now, I'm like, oh, wow. Like, what a huge difference, and just nicer to listen to. Like, we don't realize the nuances of, I think, what we're more like attracted to in terms of what we're listening, until you hear
Yes.
bad sound quality, and then you're like, oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah, I don't want to listen to that. Like, it's such a huge difference. So
yeah. You
I'm
hear
a
the
believer now.
scratching. You hear
Yeah.
the car
Yeah, a
alarms. You
guy
hear
going
the
by, or even just
rustling,
the air noise, like just
the air noise.
air,
Yes,
wind, like it's crazy.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
So
It'll
earbuds
pick
are
up.
amazing.
Yeah, and if these cost, they're not like $100. So
Yeah, yeah. You don't have the fancy Bluetooth ones, which actually I think is better. We've done some with the Bluetooth, and I know it's because the Bluetooth connection. So good old fashioned plug in earbuds, guys.
I
Like,
I love connected headphones, actually, because I also have a headset that is Bluetooth, but you can use the cable as well. And
mm-mm.
and especially when I'm video editing, I need to make sure that I hear the sound properly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it really affects how you're editing, post editing. So yeah, so if you have a little headset, perfect, with a little mic, it's great, because when you upload and you will edit this later, you don't want to have to worry about trying to fix and cut out a sound that just like
Yeah.
comes at you or comes in
Yeah.
when your content, and then
Or
you
the
have to go
voice
back.
is muffled or really loud, or like, just, we can really mess with you
Yeah.
guys right now with sound, but you're like, wah, wah. But it can, you don't realize how weird it can be, or the sound levels that can, that muffly sound, the echoey sound, until you start doing it. And that's the whole point. Like, we're encouraging you to start moving into this. So like, we're going to save you some headache and pain right now by just something as simple as just wearing your earbuds, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly.
But then there are
Now,
other levels, like you were saying.
Yes, there are other levels. You can go with, a simple, like, there's Rode. Rode is a company that makes really great microphones, and they have some that are on the go where you can actually connect to your cell phone, and it has an app that you can use to record audio. And
Oh,
it's a
cool.
really good mic. It's really small. It's compact. You can
Oh
take it
my, I
with
was not
you.
expecting it when you said that. I
Yes,
have
it's
mine
really
here that's like this, so I'm like,
yeah.
that sounds amazing. I need to check
It's
that out.
it's really good. I think it's Rode Go microphones, and I think they're like 50 bucks, and
Okay, it's
they're
reasonable.
yeah, they're not, high level
Hmm.
professional mics, but it really does a great job,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have a DSLR camera to hook up an external mic. And Rode has higher level mics that are like $200-300 that
Yeah. And
can
it can keep
really,
going up. Like it
and
can
it can keep
just, don't
going.
worry, guys.
Yep.
If you're worried about the other end, you're covered. There's plenty of money you can spend. But the easy starter package, yeah, we can look at earbuds and go up to 50 bucks and then shoot up from there. So I love the travel one. I don't think like I said, I never look at it. My husband's obsessed, but I like that idea. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're really great. Actually, I used one when I was in Venice during Carnival before everything got shut down. They were having a lot of events during the weekend. I was able to record some interviews while shooting, and like it was really, really, really easy and simple to use. So
Nice.
yes, that's an option. And then we get into lighting. So lighting is also very important because we
Yes.
want to be able to see you
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and see you clearly. So you'll need to look at your house, look at your apartment, and find the best natural light, right? You want the best
Yeah.
natural light. You want something that you won't have the sun directly on your face because then it'll wash you out, but you
Mm-hmm.
want an even tone light in your house, and so that you don't have to worry about spending money on a ring light, although you can, and they're
Right.
actually pretty inexpensive as well. If you, per se, don't have really great natural light that comes into your home, there are what's called ring lights that you can use, that you can also set your phone and screw into so
Yeah,
that the
I
phone
had
is
one that just clip on right onto my
mm-hmm.
phone. It was a little travel, same kind of small one I could use for phone recording. And then they have some that go onto your laptop, and then they have like the big standing ones. Like you can, just like everything else,
Yes.
you can go bigger and bigger.
Yes. Yeah. So ring lights are a really great option. There are also cell phone cases that have built-in lights on them,
Oh, wow.
so that you can get ones that have them on the perimeter and on the back of the phone. So if you're shooting with the back of the camera, it'll produce light on the camera
Oh, how
case
neat.
as well, which is a cool option. And those are also pretty inexpensive. I
Yeah.
think about 30-35 bucks, which you can also find on Amazon.
Right. Well, now let me
Yes.
mention that because, like, you guys will see here, it's a gorgeous day outside, and my windows are closed because the light coming in behind me actually makes more shadows and makes everything really intense and crazy. So, right now, I actually have a light. I wish I had a little camera to you, but I have a light, rather large light that's on me from here, because just my position of my desk. So if I was like facing maybe more towards my window, I was over there, it would work. So that the whole light thing, I think is again, it's like the sound. It's so much more important than I ever realized. I think some of us as entrepreneurs are like, I just want to show up and share my message. Like, I'm not trying to be all fancy, but these basic elements really, now in a world where everyone's showing up on video, these are going to keep you looking in a professional realm without a lot of effort, right? Something as simple as sound, light, and proper, a camera, which again, we're saying it can be a phone, can be your
It
proper
can be
camera.
your phone. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. If you happen to
So
have a DSLR, great. If you happen to have
amazing.
a
Yeah.
camcorder, awesome.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary to go out and buy one at the
Right.
moment. You can,
Right.
if say your content's doing really well and you're
Want to
gaining more
step up.
visibility. Yeah, and you've got, you're getting more sales, you've got more clients. You're like, okay, yeah, I can afford to splurge a little bit more on my equipment. Then yes, definitely go
Yeah.
for it. But when you're starting out, you just
Showing
do
up is
make
the
do.
most powerful thing sometimes. So
Yes.
you know what, if really you have absolutely nothing, yes, still show up, just show up. But there are, like, a natural light for the most of us is accessible in some version. Going, or, finding a light somewhere, getting some lamps, in front of you, if that's the weird thing you have to do.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I, as
Lamps
much as
also
I
help.
don't want to say this, if you go back to my first videos years ago, you will see how bad they are. But I just showed up. And I learned and I learned. And I didn't have someone like Stephanie there to tell me all the things. I got overwhelmed by trying to search and be like, oh my God, I need a $3,000 camera and 52 ring lights. And like, oh my God, this full studio. And so I showed up on my phone, and it was basically probably mostly my nose and my chin, and it was nothing cute about it. But you know what? I showed up, and as I kept showing up, I kept learning and I kept adjusting. So all of these things are amazing and great. And at the same time, yes, just showing up is the first and foremost most important thing. Right?
Exactly. Exactly. And doing that and building consistency, which is actually what I have trouble doing because life throws me curveballs, and like I have to really work hard to like plan out content and plan out my schedule and make
Mm-hmm.
sure I fit in the time, because consistency is kind of what your audience wants to see,
Yeah.
each week, each every couple of days, or every day if you want to post every day.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking to see that, and they are interested and want to know more. So that is what helps to build your visibility on
Yeah.
these platforms,
And I
is
love
is
what you
that.
said about the planning part, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, again, will make a decision like, I'm going to show up every day, or I'm going to show up every week. And then the week starts and they're like, okay, what am I going to do? But taking the time beforehand to actually schedule it, plan it, this is the day I'm going to do it, these are some of the ideas that I have, that is going to make your ability to show up consistently 1,000 times easier and like less stressful when you have some idea. And of course, if you can do a batching day, which is, you show up a day and you record 3 or 4 or 5 or 10, however ambitious you are, videos, or whatever you're doing, that you kind of do it in a shorter amount of time, so you can live life, so you can tend to your business, because this is
Exactly.
only one part, right? Like, most of us aren't getting paid. And of course, we talked about YouTube, you can monetize it, but this is only this small part of our business, such an important part, but a small part. So you don't want to be spending every day, doing it, trying to figure out, because you got other stuff to do. I mean, you should have other
Exactly.
stuff to do. So yeah, this consistency is important. Planning, it's important. It isn't easy. I like that you said, like, even Stephanie has a hard time being like, showing up consistently, because it's not, there's so many different things for us to juggle. So planning is huge, in order to show up consistently. Absolutely.
Planning
Yeah.
is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And when you plan, especially with the content that you're going to shoot, it gives you that time to really focus on, okay, what is it that I am going to share, so
Mm-hmm.
that it's more impactful, and you already know, okay, these are the things that I want to help my audience solve. If you're shooting each day and you have to come up with the content each day, you're feeling a little bit of pressure, and then that takes more time for you to do. So then you're spending, say 10 hours instead of 5, on
Yeah.
one day
And now
working
you
on the
don't like
content.
it on top of
And
that.
then
Now it's going to
you
become, then
don't
you're
like
like,
it because it
oh, now I got
feels,
to do, like, that sucks. Like, oh, there's this great thing for my business that I hate doing. Like, that's not what you want to create. So definitely keep yourself from hating it by planning and looking and having some ideas together, and looking at the marketing and why am I doing this? And I mean, there's so much that goes into that. And any of you guys who stick around and who've stuck around with me, that's my whole thing is planning and setting the calendar out, and all the tools that we have for free on the website to get all those things in order, so you can show up without the pressure, so you can show up with a plan, so you know where you're going. That's the thing, and then you have all the tools now, because Stephanie's telling you what you need.
exactly. So A, you figure out which platform you're going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
B, you figure out, okay, what is the content that I'm going to be sharing? What is the problems I'm going to be solving? C, your equipment. D, your lighting. Okay. Now, with the equipment, there are some apps that can help to enhance your shooting quality.
Mm.
One for me that I like to use is called Pro Recorder. It's on Apple apps, and I think it probably might be on Google Play Store as well. And essentially, this application uses your camera as if it's a DSLR camera.
Ooh.
So it gives you the option to change the exposure, change the zoom, change the ISO, change the shutter speed. It really gives
All
you
the
a
fancy
lot of
camera stuff, guys. Like basically
exactly.
you get to do that with the app. So, and it's
Yes.
called Pro Recorder.
Yes.
I want to see
Yes.
if it's on. I'm just gonna look in real time, guys, and
Do
let's
it.
see if because I have Android, so we'll see. Because if not, we'll need an Android option if there is one. Pro Recorder. Let's see. Oh, it says I'm offline. Okay, that didn't. Oh, because I'm on airplane mode because I didn't want to be interrupted. All right.
Okay.
We'll find out later, guys. I'll post it below if it's there.
I have my computer here. Maybe I can check to see if it's on a Google Play here. Google Play. Okay, so they've got. That's not. Well, we'll take a look and see, and by
Yeah.
the end,
But we know
we
it's
can
on
check to see.
iOS, and that's going to
Yes,
let
we know
us
it's on
do all the
iOS.
changes. And so, what are some other apps?
And some other apps there is Rode Record, and that you can use as an audio recorder if you want to do voiceovers, interviews. That's also a really great app to use as well for your phone, for your mobile phone.
Oh, okay. So it gives you like a higher quality
Yes.
microphone, I guess, in a way? Or?
It helps change the frequency of what you're recording so that it's a higher level and will concentrate on the sound closest to the microphone as opposed to picking up a larger amount of background sound.
Okay. So is that something
Yes.
you can use, like you were saying in an interview? So there's two people that you obviously don't have earbuds, and it can still sound a little
Yes.
better than it would if it
Yes.
was just okay.
Yes. You can
Okay.
kind of set it up in between you and hold it to use as a kind of a mini microphone.
Okay.
Or if you are having someone really close to you talking to you, it's does a pretty good job to pick up both voices and keep the sound to a minimum of the environmental sounds.
Nice. Okay. So these are another little kind of like workarounds again if you don't have
Exactly.
the
Hacks.
microphone. Yeah, hacks, exactly. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. So then you need to plan a day for when you want to sit down and start to
Do it.
create your content, right? Of course, part of your content will have an introduction about yourself, about your brand, about your service, about who you are, and also a little bit of story of why you have this business, why you have this service, why are you doing what you do? Because a lot, people are really curious and interested to know why did you build this company? Why did you start this? What was the reasoning behind it? And that
people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And so a lot of times we worry about our competition. We worry, Tom, Dick, and Harry all have the same business. And there's going to be some who want to buy from Tom, but there's going to be some who want to buy from you simply because you are you. And that is your superpower. And if they can't see you, they can't connect with you, you are cutting your potential audience and buyers off from that superpower by not letting them know, like, and trust you. And your story is part of that know, like, and trust factor.
Exactly.
If you have, I don't know, a clothing store and you started it for some beautiful memory from your grandmother or something, you have this whole thing. And then the other guy's like, well, I got this stuff cheap, from, somewhere and whatever, and they have the same clothes. You're probably gonna be like, oh, I like this girl and her story about her grandmother, and I'm getting the same stuff. So now you've just created that know, like, and trust factor simply with a story. So that is huge. Yes. I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful, your story. And you may not realize it, but it really will connect with someone to know more about you, and just creates an immediate connection, immediate relationship, and will continue, as you both grow and learn and share and engage with each other and create a dialogue as well. You know, if you want to create dialogues and, you know, chat with your audience, and which is also a great thing to do, right? So you plan your day, and yes, batching, as you had mentioned, batching for some folks is when you will shoot in succession a certain number of videos. So it can be 4, it can be 6, it can be 8 even. But
and how long your videos are.
and how long your videos are. And the reason you want to do batching is so that you have created the content for a month. 4 videos, you post 1 video each week. That's a month worth of content. So that is an essential part of your planning, and then you won't have to think about planning your content for the next week because it's already created in that one day of shooting.
And then you're already in the zone too. You're already kind of there, you know, for us ladies, maybe your makeup's already done, you know, whatever, like you don't have to do it every day or not. So you're all set. You're in the zone. You're already chatty, you know, you're ready. Like it's such a nice thing to do. Yeah.
Yes. So that is part of your video, and, you know, you get that and you do that. And, you know, it's helpful to write, either if you're a person that loves pen and paper, do that. Or if you like to go and use Google Docs and get it on the computer, just try and also write a script outline, you know, what your points are that you want to mention in each of your videos, because that helps you to get a flow. Okay, I'm going from this to that, and this is how I will end my video. And when you end your video, you want a call to action. You want to ask your audience to do something, to engage, to answer a question or share their stories. You know, you always want to create engagement with your audience. Which is really important.
And after all, this is for business, guys. So, you know, you're not showing up to make a nice video for, you know, your mom's birthday. Like, this is something where we're talking about business. So you are coming back to a call to action. What do I want them to do? And more times than not, people need to be told what to do. So if you're hoping that they'll know after that, then they can contact me. No. Tell them what you want them to do. If you want them to comment, like, or share, tell them to comment, like, or share. If you want them to email you or to contact you or to send a silly, you know, face, it doesn't matter what it is as much as long as you tell them, right? And then from a marketing standpoint, we can talk about, you know, yes, we should have a funnel and know where it's going and a purpose. But if nothing else, something, you know, subscribe. It can be as simple as that. Subscribe, follow, because they're engaged as well. Ideally, especially if they made it to the end of your video, they're engaged. So they're focusing on what you're talking about. They're not usually focusing on, like, you know, what should I do? Like, so if you're like subscribed, like, oh yeah, I should do that because I actually really liked this. So that little tiny mention can be a huge difference in just increasing your following, increasing engagement, and people watching your next video. So subscribe, follow, any of those things, call to action. Absolutely do that.
Yes, exactly. And now you have to find a place where you want to edit this footage. Now,
that sounds so scary.
Now, if you are jazzed and you want to learn about editing, then you can look to, you know, some of the applications that are on your laptop. If you are a Windows-based user, there is Windows Maker, I think, Windows Movie Maker.
Oh, is that what they have?
I think it's
cameras.
Windows Movie
Maker. Maybe. I have Windows. I have no idea. Guys, this is why I would just call Stephanie. So yeah. Okay.
So there is Windows Movie Maker, which is, you know, it's a very simple, easy to use software that you can do some basic footage cutting and editing. And sorry, that was my battery going to 20%. So you can use that, or if you're an Apple-based user, you would use iMovie. And iMovie is also really great, and you can put footage together, do some color editing, you know, put some titles. I'll be honest,
like, I don't have a Mac. I'm not a Mac user. I have a disdain for a lot of Apple products. However, my first experience with iMovie was years ago, and it was so easy. And I am not tech savvy. You heard me already. Like, I'm shaking my head about editing. Like, oh my gosh. And don't let me scare you. I'm sure it's not that hard. I just don't like, but iMovie, I made like the coolest trailer about like a killer butterfly in like 30 seconds. It was I could not believe how easy it was. So yeah, that if you do have that access or on your iPhone or whatever, that was awesome, at least from my experience. And that was a long time
Yeah,
ago. So I'm sure it's better now.
it is. It's really great. It's really easy and can definitely, help you to put your footage together in a nice, simple format. Now, if you want to kind of do some motion graphics, which is kinetic titles that are doing fluid movement, or call out titles, subtitles, captioning, color changes, corrections, color grading, even audio editing, then you might need to outsource someone to
You're
help you with
moving,
that.
you're moving up, guys. You're moving into like definitely intense programs, because there are programs out there, like there's the Adobe After Effects and stuff. But
Yes,
those are not,
they're
sorry,
not.
Adobe, and I'm going to say this, but they are not, like you don't just
They're
jump
not
in and
user friendly.
figure out.
No,
Yeah.
no, they're
The
not.
learning curve is very steep. And so at that point, you're really looking at taking classes, and at that point you might just go into editing as a career, because
Yeah.
again, we're talking about, this is your business, this is for your business. So if you have the ability and that's something you want to support yourself through, like absolutely. But honestly, I mean, there's so many talented people out there that, like Stephanie, that you just get a hold of and say, can you make this pretty? Because they're not something you just jump into and do. They're not like some of the other programs out there.
Yeah. Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, Final Cut, Avid, DaVinci. These are all programs. DaVinci Resolve has a free software for editing, but that is also at a higher level of skill use, and that will take you a couple tutorials, like probably a couple days, at least a week, maybe, to get comfortable
people
with
make
using
like
it.
serious movies with these programs. Like
Exactly.
you're up
It's
there. This is not like
it's
child's play. This isn't like quick social
yes.
media videos. This is like, CGI is going through this or something. So
Yeah,
yeah, this is your
exactly.
next
So
Avengers movie, guys. Like, don't do it.
exactly. So if you don't want to, you don't want to spend that time and you want to outsource it, then you come to a video editor like me, who
Mhm.
will take your footage and create something, that you want, what your vision is, and we work together to bring that to life and present it and show it to the world, So that's the two facets of it, right? So if
Yeah,
you have the time and you want to dedicate, great. If you want to outsource, you can do that too.
of
Like
course, of course.
either way is not wrong. Either way is not wrong.
Yeah.
Just one takes a little bit longer than the other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it, guys. You do you. I'm telling you, this is just me and my immediate like there's just some things I just don't cross over to. I'm like,
Right.
no.
Right.
But
Exactly.
yeah, you have someone like Stephanie. And is it helpful, like for us non-editing people, like what would be the best way for us to communicate with somebody to say like our vision? Like, should we know like titles we want, or like are there certain words or things we should be familiar with that would help us communicate what we want with you better?
Yeah, sure. So if you have certain folks that you follow and you love the video production that they do,
Mm-hmm.
then you can reference that and say, hey, I really love what, say, there's a YouTube guru. Her name is Sunny Landruzzi. I think I'm saying her name wrong. Very sorry. But she is a YouTube guru, and she has a course on like YouTube for bosses, like helping people launch their channel and get it up and going, and has a really great YouTube channel, and her production and editing, what she does is really great. So, also look at, other service-based businesses, product-based businesses that have a lot of content already on the platforms that you are on, and see what they're doing, what you
Styles that
like,
you
what
like.
their
Okay.
styles are. Like if you like fast paced moving cut to cut things, or
Mm-hmm.
transitions with colors and
So
you
being
know.
able to give you an example of what we like would be helpful,
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of us like
definitely.
sitting there like, well, it kind of goes like this and then this, and like doing, trying to show you with our hands. And then the guy was like that.
Yeah.
So giving an example of other videos we've seen and say, this is kind of what I'm looking at. Here's a couple examples. So
Yeah,
gather those, guys, as you're looking either at diving into some of these editing, the editing yourself, or looking to outsource. I think that's a huge part, is to gather the links of things that you like and either bring them to someone, say kind of like this, or look at those and say, okay, this is what parts of these am I trying to recreate? Because I know learning like the cuts and the frames that you don't even, for me, I didn't notice them at first. They're just happening and you realize you like it and you're like, what is it that I like? You're like, oh, I like how it cuts here and then the person's over there, or like, so it takes
exactly,
us,
exactly.
other people who aren't into it, to kind of notice even why we like it. So starting to pay attention, that can be really helpful, I think, to produce the stuff we want
Yes,
or get the results we want. Awesome.
exactly. Yeah. And then from there, you have your content edited, and then you upload it to your platform, and you see how
You're
people
amazing.
react.
Right. Right. And it is really a touch and go. Like, you have to kind of show up, see what works, see what doesn't. There's no
Exactly.
magic bullet,
No.
because your audience is unique. Your audience, even if you have your target market, your demographics all laid out, like it's this person, and your demographics might match, the same exact demographics as Susie's Bake Shop or something, you are still different. So your audience's reaction to you, to the things that you say, are going to be different. So you need to show up. Part of it's just showing up. Like there's no magic answer. You can get all the tools, you can get all the support, but showing up and paying attention is going to be the biggest tell sign of what's working and what's not, and getting
Exactly.
over that
Yes.
fear of it not being okay. Like I told you, go look at my first videos. Like, don't go look at my first videos, but go look at my first videos. You just got to get over it. Like my husband last night, he's like, why do you even have those up? I'm like, because that was my journey.
Exactly. That's where we started, and this
It's
is where we
okay.
are. So
People need
it's
to know. And you know what? Maybe one day I'll look back on these videos and be like, oh my gosh, so who knows? But I'm just going to keep going and keep showing up. So, well, that's awesome. Well, so before my last question, can you tell everyone where they can find you and what you have going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So you can find me. I live on Instagram. Actually, I love Instagram. So
Your platform. Like you said, find your
in
platform.
Instagram, and you soon I'll be on YouTube. I'm actually in the planning phase of content on there. So for
Awesome.
sure, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at 530 Soul Studios. And right now, I'm working on helping some folks launching their YouTube channels and doing some test YouTube launching with them. And yeah, that's what's got going on for right now.
Awesome. So 530 Studios, we can follow you. We can learn some tips. We can reach out to you for some help, for some work on
Yes.
editing.
Yes.
Anything else in addition to editing, or is that really the main editing and starting YouTube channels?
Yes. Yeah. So it's 530 Soul Studios.
Yes.
And I also help businesses with Instagram and Facebook video ads. So I create 20 to 31 minute video ads, and it's really cool. I love creating those, and it's a lot of fun. So I work with people who use Instagram and Facebook, and then I just started launching doing services with YouTube and launching YouTube channels, helping people
I love that.
get to from start to finish. And what I also do is I like to do the research part. So doing keyword research, which helps in the algorithms of YouTube to rank higher.
You like
helps.
doing that. That's
I
amazing.
do.
That's what I need. Someone who likes doing that. Wow. So I'll be talking to Stephanie a lot after this, guys. Right now. Well,
Awesome.
That's amazing. So for my last question, out of all these things we've talked about, what is something that we can challenge someone or even just a tip that we can give them that they can do like now, this week, right now, to move forward in bringing video into their business?
Yes, I would say practice in front of the camera, even if it's the front facing camera, and just shoot yourself for 1 minute to 2 minutes and share your story. Share your story, you
Get
know,
over that
talk about
fear.
your story, and then shoot another video and say why you do what you do. What is it that you offer? Why you like to do this, you know?
Just get used
Share
to
your
talking
story.
about it.
Exactly.
Video version of talking about
Video
it.
version. Yes, exactly.
Love that. Okay. Guys, I want to see those videos. Like, see those videos. So that is awesome. Everyone, that's what you need to do. We need you to show up. If you're not sure, you're stuck, that's why Stephanie is here. So reach out to her, follow her. Stephanie, again, thank you so much for being here and showing up. Appreciate it so much. As we talked about, I think video is just, it's so important, and even more so now that we are in this interesting world situation, that video is becoming even more of an important way for us to connect, again, more than ever. So I think this is so helpful and gives really a lot of us in business that push to just finally get past the fear, feel the fear, and do it anyway. Like, okay, it took a pandemic for me to decide I'm finally going to do video. Here you go, guys. If you want a new way to, new perspective to look at this pandemic, here you go. It pushed you to go and start your videos. So you guys, it's up to us to create our best life regardless of our circumstances. So get out there and use these tools to be heard, share your unique voice, grow your business. And if you do try these tips out, please let us know by tagging us at My Design Life Show and tag Stephanie at 530 Soul Studios, and let us support you and give you feedback. So as always, you can connect with us at My Design Life Show and at Tanyamfk on Facebook and Instagram, and learn more about our courses, workshops, and coaching at tanyamfk.com. And if you like this episode, then make sure to subscribe and follow and be notified when our next one is up by clicking that button now. So remember, your someday starts today. Make it the best. I'm Tanya MFK, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. You can catch us every week at 1 p.m. EST live on the My Design Life Show Facebook page and on YouTube at the Tanya MFK channel. See how the challenges go by following us on Facebook and Instagram at My Design Life Show and at Tanya MFK. Do you have a method, tip, or hack you'd like to share or explore? Submit to be a guest or suggest a topic by visiting mydesignlife.show.